Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Science with Yash. And so far we have covered the basics of Python, like all the way up to the lambda functions, right? So before we dive into the data analysis topics like the pandas, matplotlib, seaborn, and of course the numpy. And before that, I'm excited to announce a new series that is interview prep for Python programs. So in this series, basically we'll be tackle the most important programs every data analyst or the data scientist should know to crack those interviews, and the programs like the finding the prime numbers or generating some Fibonacci sequences, and of course this Armstrong number and many such programs. So basically writing programs is a very much crucial, and if you can't write the programs, then it's pretty much game over in the data science world. So today we'll kick things off with the Armstrong number program, and let me tell you, this is the very first program that I faced in my very first interview. So remembering the nervousness and the excitement of the day, I thought it would be fitting to start with this example. So let's get started by understanding what is an Armstrong number, and followed by we'll be try to understand each line of code. So basically, an Armstrong number is a number which is equal to sum of its own digits, each raised to the power of the number of digits that is there in particular number. I know this is a bit confusing. Let me take an example. Let's say I have a number 153. So we have three digits over here, and when I'm trying to cube of each number, like 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube, which is nothing but 1 plus 125 plus 3 cube is 27. So we're gonna get it as 153, right? So basically this is a great example to understand the looping concept and the mathematical operations that is there in this Python, right? And I hope, like, at the very first glance this program might look very simple because it is shorter in length, but don't be fooled, guys. It involves understanding the logic behind it, but however I'll make sure to break it down in an easy to understand, right? So alright, let's dive into the code and break down how to write a program to check for the Armstrong number. Stick around, it's going to be a very much informative, and as always, if you have not liked, share or subscribe, make sure you do to stay updated with all the latest content, right? So let's get coding. Let me try to copy this entire thing and maybe paste it over here, right? So let's try to understand each line of code. So basically, first let me give an overview of the code. So initially you're entering a number, and then you're storing in a variable called m. Let's say you have entered some random number 100, or maybe taking the same example the 153, and you have stored in m, and s equals to 0 is nothing but you are initializing the sum, because we are basically trying to cube each of the number, right? So 153, what I was trying to explain is an Armstrong number is a number when we sum the cube of this 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube, which is nothing but 1 plus 125 plus 27. We're gonna get it as 153, the number which you initially took, and after summing up you're getting the same number. Then this particular number is called Armstrong number. Clear? So initially the sum is 0, and then you're writing a condition when n is greater than 0. So basically this while loop is going to run till the condition satisfied, like until and unless it is less than 0, then this while loop will be not iterating in its body, and it will jump to this if statement. Until and unless it gets fulfilled, it remains in this loop, and once this is getting false, it jumps into this if statement. Clear? So maybe I'll explain taking an example. Let's try to understand. So n equals to int input, enter a number. Let's say I have entered a number 153. So you have entered a number, and initially this is there in the string format, and now what you're trying to do is you're trying to typecast, like you wanted to convert into integer, so it is going to convert it as 153. You can see here you have specified int, which means you are typecasting and you are forcefully changing this particular string to integer. Clear? So this 153, initially it is stored in n, and now m equals to n. So you're storing this 153 in this. For further comparison, we'll try to understand why we have stored over here. So initially s is 0, so s equals to 0. So well, n is greater than 0. So initially we have the number as 153. So basically 153 is greater than 0, right? So this condition is true. This condition is true. So it goes into this body of the, so this goes into this body of while loop. While loop. Clear? So what happens now is it is going inside the body of while loop. So r is nothing but a reminder. So n percentage 10. So 153 percentage, or you can call it as modulus 10, which gives you the reminder. So 10 of 153 is 15, and you get it as 150, and you get the reminder as 3. So right now we have our value as 3, right? So next, s equals to s plus r into r into r, which means we have the sum value as 0, 0 plus we have r as 3, right? So 3 into 3 into 3. So right now the value is 27. Clear? And next comes n equals to n floor division 10, which means 153, and we have 10. So 10 15, so 150, so 3. Floor division gives you the quotient. So now you have n value as 15. Clear? So this is our first iteration. This is our first step. Clear? So now we'll try to understand what is happening in the second step. So right now we have the values left as, just a second. So we have values s equals to 27 and n equals to 15, right? So now what it happens is this is again gonna iterate in this while loop. Why is it so? Because still the n value is greater than 0, right? So n we have 15 right now, so 15 is greater than 0. Well, 15 is greater than 0. This is also true, so it will go inside the while loop. So now r equals to n percentage 10, which means 15 percentage 10, right? So we have the reminder as 5. Right now we have our value as 5, and s equals to s plus, we have the value of s as 27, right? So 27 plus r cube is nothing but 5 cube. 5 cube is nothing but 125. Clear? So we are left with 152 as the S value at this point of time. Clear? So yeah. So next comes n equals to n floor division, sorry, n floor division 10, which is nothing but 15 floor division 10. This gives you quotient as 1, n equals to 1. So this is our second iteration. Still the n value is 1 which is a greater than 0, so it will still go, it will again go for the third iteration. So second iteration is done and it will again go to the third iteration. So what happens here is, just a second guys. So in third step what happens is, so well, so right now we have the value of s as 152 and n value as 1. So 1 is greater than 0, right? So this is also true. So it will go into the body of while loop. So reminder equals to n percentage 10, which means 1 percentage 10, which is nothing but 10 1. So this is 0 and we are getting it as 1. Reminder will be 1, so we have reminder as 1. Clear? So now s value will be s plus r into r, which is nothing but, we have the s value as 152 plus 1 into 1 into 1 is nothing but 153, and the n value as n floor division 10, which means 1 floor division 10, the quotient is 0. So right now we have the value of n as 0. So finally we got the values of n equals to 0 and s is equals to 153. So now when it tries to iterate once again, you can see that now n is greater than 0. So 0 is not greater than 0, right? So here this is false. Let me write. So well, 0 is greater than 0. This is false, right? So what happens now is it jumps into this if statement. So it jumps into this if statement and checks the value now. So if s double equals to m, so we have a value of s as 153 and the value of m is also 153. So this particular number is a Armstrong number. Clear? So we have basically until this condition is getting satisfied, like n is greater than 0, it is going inside the loop. But once it reached like n is no longer greater than 0, now it tried jumping from, well, going inside the loop. Instead of going inside the loop, it is going to this if statement and checks if this particular sum is equals to m, then the given number is Armstrong number, and if that particular sum is not equals to m, this is gonna print it as not an Armstrong number. So since 153, when we are trying to cube this and adding this, we are able to get it as 153. So this particular number is an Armstrong number. Clear? So we'll understand, we'll check with the code as well. So I have given a number, let's say 100, and enter. The given number is not an Armstrong number because when you are trying to cube 1 cube plus 0 cube and again plus 0 cube, you're not going to get it as, I mean, it's not a number which sum equals to 100, right? So we'll take the same example and check. So 153 The given number is an Armstrong number. Clear? So this is how you check for Armstrong number in Python. And similarly you have Armstrong numbers like 370 is also an Armstrong number, and 371 is also an Armstrong number. And you can try with other numbers as well, maybe 132, since when we are trying to cube these numbers, you're not counting, get the value is 132, so it's not an Armstrong number. And maybe we can try with another Armstrong number, that is 407. So is an Armstrong number. Basically 4 cube is nothing but 64, and 0 cube is 0, and 4 cube 64 plus 0 plus 7 cube is 343. And when you're trying to add 343 plus 64, you're gonna get a number which is equals to 407. That is why this is called an Armstrong number. Clear? So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video where we'll be tackling more interview prep programs. Thank you.